Thank you for joining and watching these videos on YouTube. We're Cyber Church of Christ. We'd love to have you join us at any time. And if you have any Bible questions, be sure and contact us. We'll tell you where something is in the Bible or whether it's even in the Bible. That's what we do. We like to prove all things. We're on a series of angels, and hopefully you could see these in order. And if at the bottom, I'll have links to the other parts. Likely next week will be the last part of the angel studies. This week is called Fallen Angels. We'll find out what is fallen angels today. So let's look at our first comment here. Is this lesson will reveal biblical facts about Satan and his fallen angels. Now, Satan has angels. Well, let's find that out in today's study. All right, let's get a couple things here I want to point out. Angels are spirits, and spirits cannot be seen by human beings. Therefore, any depiction of a spirit from heaven must be generated by the imagination of humans. So here's what happens. I'm wanting to have a play or a movie or something, and what happens is I got the devil on one side and an angel on the other side, one saying do something good, something bad on the other. Well, how are you going to draw that? Because you can't see Satan and you can't see angels, can't see their spirits. Well, then we have imaginations of humans. I got to draw something. Okay. So how are you going to make something look like a fallen angel or Satan? So fallen angels are referred to as fallen due to the fact that they fell from grace and fell to earth, and Satan is their leader. Yeah, so if I'm wanting to draw angels, well, what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to put them in white clothes, and then put a halo and wings because, excuse me, they fly in and out. Okay. And then when I show that picture, people go, oh, that's an angel. Well, all that is some imagination of a human. Well, yeah. And Satan, what are you going to do about that? Well, let's see. Opposite of white is black, but let's make red. Since it's fire and hell, let's do Satan is red and a red tail, maybe a pointed tail, and then maybe some horns and a pitchfork. Okay, that way everybody knows what an angel looks like and what a devil looks like. Okay, all that's that's not in the Bible. It's called imagination of humans. So we're going to learn today what happened to why is there such a thing even as fallen angels? All right, so let's look at another point here. Fallen angels are referred to in the Bible as evil spirits. That's mentioned 4 times in there where it's just called evil spirits. Sometimes it just says spirits. And then devils, actually, the word devils appears 55 times in the King James. Now, I've got a note here. It says the word demon, since demon is Satan and his fellows, right? The word demons or demons plural does not appear in the King James Version. So if you do a lookup in the search engine and say, hey, I want to see in King James how many times demon shows up, not in there. However, it does appear more than 20 times in each of the other 12 versions of the Bible. So you got to wonder, okay, why did they put the word demon in there? Okay, so just an interesting side note. All right, now some fallen angels have lived in human beings. So what happens is in the Bible, it shows that there's a human being that has their own spirit, and then a spirit from a fallen angel also residing in that same human being. Well, if that's the case in the Bible, then let's make a movie or something out of it. Well, yeah, that's what they do. And then you can entertain the folks. All right, let's look at Matthew 8:16. Not red letter, but it's talking about Jesus. Okay. Now, here's what would happen. Jesus would be traveling during the day, have hordes of people following him, and then in the evening, usually rested at some location or someone's house. And then he would do more of the Father's work. And then in the evening, basically, when everybody else is going to go to bed and go to sleep, he would go up on the mountain to pray. He would go somewhere else, pray to the Father. Only time I've ever seen in the Bible where he slept was on the boat that was about to wreck, and that was for a purpose. And we may get to that next week. Now, here's what happens, Matthew 8:16. They're now bringing, since Jesus has a reputation of healing people, well, then I'm going to take my cousin or son or brother or mother over to him because they've had this ailment for so long, and then he can cure it because that's what we heard. So this is what this verse is referring to in Matthew 8. Matthew 8:16. When the even was come, this means the evening, they, those are the people I'm talking about, like people in the town, they brought unto him. Remember, I told you we do pronouns in the when we're studying Bibles, Cyber Church of Christ, we're big on pronouns because that helps us understand what the verse means. When the evening would come, they brought unto him, so that would be the people of this town or community, would bring to Jesus many, another pronoun, that were possessed with devils. Okay, so not just one person had one evil spirit in them. No, there were many of them that were possessed with devils. That's where, so devil can live inside a human being? Well, according to this verse, yeah. What says here, there were many were possessed with the devils. And what happened? He, that's still, we're talking about Jesus, cast out the spirits. Right here, he says he cast them out. Well, it takes some power. Cast out the spirits with a huge sword. No, that's not what that says. He's not using a physical weapon at all. Cast out the spirits with his word. Now, we found out studying Bible that the word's a two-edged sword. It pierces in and pierces as it's coming out. And so what's powerful? Powerful is the word of God. So he's casting out devils with the word of God. He's just using the word. There's no physical weapon of any kind, but he is casting out spirits with his word. And by the way, the ones that didn't have an evil spirit in them that were just sick, he healed the sick also. And he healed all that were sick. So that all is actually another pronoun. All right, so we had spirits for evil spirits, for Satan and his buddies. Also, that's why I said up there he was called devils. Well, this is one of the 55 verses that has devils in it. Okay, so you can see now Jesus would go, why aren't the Jewish scholars and priests and chief priests and those guys, why aren't they out there casting out devils? Okay, just a rhetorical question. But Jesus has this power, and then suddenly, if I hear that and my cousin or mom or something sick, I'm bringing him to him, regardless of what those other people say. I want him to be healed. So that was the whole key to this verse was the word healed. There was some kind of infirmity, and now they're healed. And how would we be spiritually healed? His word. That's how. So yeah, this verse here is full of pronouns. We were studying it with you at home there. We would point out the pronouns and say, okay, what noun goes with this pronoun? So they and him, spirits, his, and then all. So plenty of pronouns in there. All right, now let's look at some more on fallen angels. We have direct scriptures. The fall is the result of being cast. So that's on the why. I got WHY. Why would an angel fall? I mean, if they're being sent to the earth and they do something for the Father here on planet Earth, then they return to their abode in heaven. They live there. How does this word fall even come into play? They're actually not, they're actually sent, not fall. Well, here's what happens. The ones that are sent still living with the Father in heaven and living with Jesus in heaven. Oh, and they do things that are what? That they're assigned to do. What we learned in those first five lessons we had on angels, that they were ministering spirits. So that's what they're doing. They're taking instructions from our Father through Jesus, saying, hey, do this on planet Earth. They do it on planet Earth, mission accomplished. Well, and we didn't even study the Sodom and Gomorrah in our angel study, but that was one where angels were sent. And remember when Jesus was fasting 40 days, 40 nights, it was angels that came and strengthened him. So you see, there's angels that are on assignment. But these, we're looking at fall. How did they fall? Let's look at Revelation 12:9. And the great dragon, that's another name for Satan, was cast out. Okay, well, you just said here in this verse in Matthew that he cast out devils that were living in humans on planet Earth. Well, yeah, and you know what? They were originally cast out. So look at this verb transition here, cast out. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan. So he got all kinds of nicknames for him. Satan is his proper name. And then most of the other names are either nicknames or pronouns. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. And if you're studying with us, we usually stop at a colon when we see one and say, hey, there's a colon there. Whoops, can't get it to highlight. Here we go. Deceive the whole world. And we'll go back and go, hey, hold on, what did it just say? And it said, well, Satan got cast out and he deceives the whole world. Well, how are you going to fool the whole world? Have you been outside? Yeah. Have you turned on your TV, watch movies? Yeah. Well, there you go. You got easy to prove that. Satan's deceived the whole world. Okay. And so where did you cast out? I'm interested in this cast out you mentioned in Matthew. You cast out Satan because he deceived the whole world. How did that happen? Well, he was cast out into the earth. Oh, and his angels. Also, Satan does have angels because I just saw that pronoun his. So that we had the pronoun he after he's already given him these nicknames. We had the pronoun he and then his here. These are all said. Now, you do know Satan has no gender, right? Angels don't have a gender. We already learned that. They don't have male and female. So this his is basically just for the English language. It, his angels were cast out with him. Well, so I had to cast out in Matthew where Jesus is casting out devils out of people. And then here we talk about, hey, he deceives the whole world and he got cast out into the earth and his angels got cast out with him. Well, this one verse, you got cast out. Well, and then you said cast out into the earth, and then all of a sudden cast out. Boy, you made your point there. I guess the action verb is cast. Well, obviously. So who's got the power to cast out Satan and his buddies? Well, our Father has all power, gives power to Jesus, calls him the Almighty because all power has been given to him by our Father. That's how he was able to cast him out there in Matthew 8. Okay, this says here, before the world even was, he got cast out into the earth and his angels cast out with him. So yeah, I would assume just by my studies that we had living human beings and all on planet Earth when Satan and his angels, his buddies there, that were locked up, they were loosed, they were in the pit, they were loosed and cast out somewhere. Well, I got your answer. They were cast out into the earth. Yeah. So where are they now? That's where they are now. They're on their planet Earth with us. They're living on planet Earth with us. Okay. But I'll die a human death someday, and then my spirit will go back to the Father who gave me my spirit. Yeah. What about these guys? Oh no, they're staying on planet Earth. Well, when do they return to the Father? Well, they've already been sentenced. They already know that they've been judged. I mean, how do you know that? Because they got cast out. No, they're not returning to, we studied that last week. They're not returning to their place of abode, place of Father. It was called an estate, and they left their estate. Well, no, so when do you mean they left? Well, they left, they got cast out. So we'll look at this last verse. It says, he deceived the whole world, so he's out in, if you want to know where Satan is, well, he's in the earth. We just found out. All right, now let's look at 2 Peter 2:4. Same topic, it's about fallen angels. For if God spared not the angels that sinned. Okay, well, is that what you were talking about on this previous verse in Revelation 12? Yeah. Yeah, the angels that sinned, since they sinned, then what? Well, then they were sin's not allowed in heaven, by the way. Oh, so you can't live there. Oh, okay. So when I get saved in the end, I'll be in a location where nobody sins. Yeah, yeah, if you live with the Father, there's no sin there. Okay, so the angels that sin, well, yeah, you just disqualified yourself from living there. For if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, well, we're using a lot of cast today. Yeah, that's a power verb, isn't it? Cast them down to hell and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment. So that's our judgment. They've already been judged because why? Because they sinned and they're now chained up. Okay, so they were delivered. So Satan and some of his angels, based on Revelation 12:9, we believe all of his angels were cast out with him. And then here you can see, hey, here's what happened. They were chained up in darkness. They're in reserve, waiting on the judgment day. Well, they don't want the judgment day to hurry up. They'd rather be living here and wreaking havoc on planet Earth and getting into human beings and animals and other things. Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll learn some of that next week. For God spared not the angels that sinned, but delivered them into chains of darkness. Now, let's look at this Jude 6. Also, same topic. Okay. And the angels which kept not their first estate, that's what I was speaking to a few minutes ago, they had a home, all right, in heaven. Angels kept not their first estate, but left. Well, you said left, but we saw cast out like 6 times already. Uh, cast here, cast there, cast. And now in here, of a very nice, polite way of saying it is a left. Angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains unto darkness, unto the judgment of the great day. What's what you just said in 2 Peter 2:4? Well, yeah, they're in everlasting chains under darkness, reserved unto judgment, until what? Of the great day. Well, a great day, it's a great day for us. Our name's in the book of life, or opens up, calls out our name. Jesus professes our name to his angels and our Father. Wow, what a great day that is. Not a great day for these guys. Oh, because why? They're going to be cast again. Okay. Let's look at this last section here. since some angels were cast out of heaven. And boy, when I've taught this before, I got asked this question. So I go, hey, I'm going to print out this question so people can basically, if they're studying this or reading this or looking at this on YouTube, they're going to have this question. Since some angels were cast out of heaven, we just learned that today, will there be a chance we that are saved in the end and living in heaven be cast out also? Well, man, that's a good question. Those angels that they sinned, they were in heaven, they were living up there, got sent, they left their first estate, they got cast out, they're living in the earth. Now, who's to say that when I get saved in the end, I mentioned that a while ago, we have our name written in the book of life. We then face the judgment. Our name's in the book of life. That's what we wanted. And then we're going to be in heaven with our Father. Now, what happens if I get cast out of heaven like these angel guys do? Well, that's a good question. That's what the question is. Well, what is the answer? The answer is no. You're not going to be cast out. Oh, well, how do I know that? Well, we have a verse here, doesn't have the word angel in it, but it answers this question for you. Look at this, 1 Thessalonians 4:17. Then we, here we go with pronouns, then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds. Let me stop at that comma. All right, so we which are alive. Well, that means that you're on planet Earth and you're in the kingdom. Your name's in the book of life. Yeah. And you were on planet Earth when the Father said go, and the earth is destroyed and we have the judgment. At the time you were on planet Earth. Well, what happened to me? Well, you shall be caught up. What'll happen is you'll be caught up in the cloud together with them. Well, now I got to go find out who is them. Well, you're going to be studying it. Like if you study with us, we would go in there and say, hey, who is this them? We'd find out the them is Jesus. Angels woke up those that were asleep in God's rest and in the waiting places. They were then ready to be judged, and they will come in the clouds to recruit whoever remains on planet Earth. That's this verse we're referring to now. And then we'll meet them in the clouds. Well, that's a big them. Yeah, ain't it though? Yeah. So anyway, what'll happen if I'm alive and I'm driving on the freeway at 70 miles an hour and then the earth ends? Well, it happens in the blink of an eye. So you don't see a wreck or anything like that. You just get caught up in the clouds. And you'll see Jesus, his angels, and the other spirits that are being saved. We're all going to be judged. Okay. And what'll happen now when I get caught up? To meet the Lord in the air and show that here's where we're going to end. This is actually answering your question. So shall we ever be with the Lord? Oh, so I'm not going to get cast out. No, you're going to be not sinning. You're going to be living in a place where there's no sin. And the place is so fabulous, can't describe it in human terms. Your human brain can't even come up with the thought of how good heaven is. The things that Jesus has prepared for us because our Father told him to. So there, we have a home up there. And now I just read here, permanent home. This says we shall ever be with the Lord. Well, I know the Lord's not getting cast out. He's my judge. He's sitting next to, he's the high priest of the Cyber Church of Christ. Yeah. And he's with what? Well, he's called God, so he's with the Father. And then you're going to be living with him? Yeah, I'm going to be living with him. Okay, so none of us are going to get cast out. Well, that's a pleasant thought. So I learned that angels were in a position where they could sin and get cast out and get fooled by Satan. Yeah. Get cast out into the earth, wreaking havoc here. I will see it and witness it all day, every day. Yeah. And now what happens to me when I get into heaven? Am I going to be cast somewhere? No. This says here, you forever be with the Lord. So that answered you. That was a good question. Will I ever be cast out after already getting saved in the end? The answer is no, because you shall ever. I like this we and we. Well, we got a lot of pronouns in today's sermon. Well, every sermon has a bunch of pronouns in it because the Bible is pronoun heavy. We, and then we will ever be with the Lord. What a fabulous message that is. Because I had the question, can I be cast out? And then I get this verse and goes, no, I'm going to be living there forever with no chance of being cast out. I'm going to be with my Savior and Lord, living in the light. Yeah, living in the Father's light. It's actually called glory, but glory is hard to explain in human terms. Anyway, I hope you got something out of today's lesson. Today was about fallen angels, but don't worry, you get saved in the end, you won't be falling. Won't be falling. You're going to be forever with the Lord in the hereafter. What a marvelous message. Okay, well, we're the Cyber Church of Christ. You can contact us either by email or reply to any of you can reply to these on YouTube and we'll see it. And we can always reply back to you. But you can see we use scriptures to answer questions. So we don't have opinions, we just use scriptures. All right, well, is there a scripture that says I'll be forever with the Lord? Yeah, let me show you that. 1 Thessalonians 4:17. Yeah, that's how we do it. But Cyber Church of Christ, we're small, but we'd love to have you join us. You know what our concern is? Being saved in the end. That's the whole deal. It's what's called a great day. There's judgment of the great day. The judgment of the great day, that ought to be your number one priority in your life. How am I going to be judged? All right. Hope you have a great day. We're the Cyber Church of Christ, and we love you.